Lead boxing truth. So, Tim Tszyu is telling Errol Spence that he's ready to go. That he's ready to fight his next fight with Errol Spence. Errol Spence comments back and says, pretty much, hey, I'm ready too. So this just sounds like we're about to have a fight between Errol Spence Jr. and Tim Tszyu. I don't know where the fight will take place. Will it be overseas or will it be here in the United States on neutral ground like a Las Vegas? Or will Errol Spence try to make this fight take place in Cowboy Stadium? Right now, both don't have a belt. Errol Spence hasn't fought since 2023, but you know Errol Spence, he doesn't want a tune-up. And we can honestly say that Tim Tszyu is not a tune-up fight. He's a legitimate fighter. He's been in there with the best. Some of the best fighters in there. Some of the best at 154 pounds. And so Errol Spence and I think this will be his first fight at 154 pounds, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong, please put it in the comment section. But I think this will be the first fight at 154 pounds. With that being said, these negotiations need to start happening. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty easy because both fighters are PBC fighters. So there's no, middleman or trying to look on the other side or cross the street like they would say back in the days. Oh, you see if you can cross the street and come over here and make this fight happen. I think what's going to happen is you're going to have Errol Spence versus Tim Tszyu. You're going to have Errol Spence versus Tim Tszyu. And the winner of that fight, I feel, should get Fandor. That'd be a good look. Errol Spence versus Tim Tszyu. And the winner gets Fandor. So, this fight, I believe, needs to happen. Especially, people wanting to know if Errol Spence is getting back in the ring. He said he's getting back in the ring. And he said exactly what he said before. He's not taking no tune-ups. Some people might not like that, but, it's his career. He feels that he doesn't need no tune-ups. He don't want to go in there and fight tune-ups. He only want to fight, the best. So he can't go in there and fight Fandor right away. That's not going to make any sense. But if he goes in there and fights Tim Tszyu and he actually does a great job, then yeah, we can see him either the next two fights fighting Tim Tszyu or fighting somebody else who might have a title that he can fight. I don't think we're going to see him fighting the Boots Ennis or anything. It would be easier for him to fight a Fandor because they're on the same side. And whoever wins that wins. Then you could possibly have the Boots fight afterwards. There's so many possibilities, but regardless, they're trying to put whoever is the number one guy on that PBC side, they're trying to put them in a position where they're the A side. Meaning they fought these names, they brought these numbers to the table, and the thing is, what's Boots bringing to the table? Either, we're going to have a 60-40 or 50-45 or something like that. But it's going to be in our favor because we have the pieces to make it be in our favor. We have Jermell Charlo, undisputed champion. We have Errol Spence. We have Fandor. We have Tim Tszyu. We have all these fighters on the PBC side to make whoever is going to be the top 154-pound person that guy. I think that might be the strategy. Then you make a big pay-per-view fight with a Boots Ennis, and that's how it's going to probably go. And, I'm excited to see Errol Spence versus Tim Tszyu because I think this opens up everything for the 154-pound division. With that being said, Lee's Boxing Truth, like, comment, you know what to do. Subscribe.